Well, I figured I'd save us all some time today because we got a lot of work to do. We're going to be doing heavy modular frames, and we're going to be doing 15 per minute. Now, if you've ever made heavy modular frames before, you'll know that's quite a lot of work to do. So I have pre-set up a giant platform here, as you can see. It is over in our sort of sandy coast area where we've got our oil plastic factory. There's our electronics factory over there. And then, so what I did was I just kind of made a giant platform. There's a logistics floor underneath as well. I don't know if I'll need all this space, but I have quite a few machines to put down today, so I figured I would make sure we have enough. Better be safe than sorry. And then, so I went ahead and I also set up all my water pumps along the back there that we needed today. We'll kind of go over the build as we go along here. As you can see here, I've also got 3 lines of 482 iron. Well, sort of. These are still only Mark IV belts, so obviously we're at a max of 480, so each one is too short. So we're going to work pretty hard today while we're waiting for these phase 3 elevator parts to finish up. And honestly, with the amount of awesome sync tickets or awesome shop tickets, whatever they're called, that we have, once we've unlocked aluminum, we should be able to just kind of buy enough stuff to unlock the Mark V belts. And then we can just kind of put them in before we actually have an aluminum setup all ready to go. So by hopefully the end, this will be 100% efficient, theoretically. Same thing goes for the limestone input over there. That has a total output of like 540, I believe. I'll go over there and double check. So obviously can't move that much down into the truck station just yet, but since it's such a short distance, I think I can do it with just one tractor. So just kind of is running back and forth, brings my limestone from over there, and then I should put a door in here. I don't have to jump over. If you come down the bridge over the road here, this is kind of a perfect spot because there are 3 pure iron nodes all right here. You mad people here. So these are all set to do 482 per minute. And then the limestone comes from just over here, where there is a pure limestone node right on the edge of the cliff here. That's just running down into the truck station and running things over. And then for the iron, I figure I could just kind of belt it across. Made a little bridge over the road. Doesn't look too bad. What happened here? Okay, so this shouldn't have run out of fuel, but that means that I didn't drive it into the fuel station properly. So I'm gonna have to redo that truck line real quick just to make sure that's, because it's kind of blocking the road right now. Well, here, let me just get it out of the way really quick. Alright, problem solved. I just fed that truck station a whole bunch of liquid biofuel for now because that's what I have to use. And I don't really want to re-record the truck line right now. I want to get started on all this building because we have, like I said, so many machines to place down. It's like 40 something refineries just to put out enough iron ingots for this. And then there's like some more refineries down here that's going to do the wet concrete. So that's what the 450 iron or 450 water is for here. I kind of put a little sign. If you guys wanted to follow along, I did kind of put the save file in the Google Drive. And it should start from where I was standing right up on that little pillar there. So I do have all the water pumps set up down here. I haven't actually set their proper clocking yet, although I think, actually wait, maybe I did. So yeah, we got 450 water here. So it's just 4 of them feeding into a Mark II pipe into an industrial fluid buffer there and a pump, and it's going to send it up here, and that'll be our wet concrete. Now, so for this one over here, I had to move, it's like 800 something water, and obviously you can't do that with a Mark II pipe, so I have it split into 2 pipes of 413. Yeah, it was 826 water. So 2 pipes of 413, and they're going to come up from down there, from all these from all these down along here. And so essentially I split that between 7 water pumps, and then so we got this one right in the middle that splits. It comes up and then splits down to feed the other pipes to make sure it prioritizes the water coming out of here. And it also should help create a more of a flow pressure to send all the water down. So this one was set to 106 meters per minute, and then I think everyone else was 120. Correct. Okay, so that was the only one I had to actually underclock. So now we've got this whole giant logistics floor here ready to go that we can make use of. But I think today we're going to start with the iron and the concrete refiners. Then we'll move into the iron wire plate pipes constructors. Then we've got some assemblers for the reinforced iron plates, modular frames, and encased pipes. And then finally, we have some manufacturers to do some heavy modular frames. And then I'm using a few alt recipes in this one. So let me just show you the... Oops, there we go. Encased heavy frame is what I'm using. So basically the whole trade-off is that you, instead of having to do screws, we use pipes, or sorry, we use concrete. And then, which kind of makes sense because we're already bringing in concrete and everything for the encased industrial beams and all that stuff anyway. So this kind of works out really well. It does create a weird number, 2.813 per minute. So there will be some downclocking of the manufacturers once we get down like up to the very top. But let's kind of get started here. It's just going to be a little bit complicated. Hopefully I can kind of make sure it's easy to follow along with if you want. If not, just kind of kick back, relax, and let's get some work started. So let me bring up my little build guide here for myself, and then we can figure out where we're going to start putting down. I think I'll probably start with the iron refineries, and we'll probably put them over here, nearby these pipes here. And then we'll just belt that down into the logistics floor down below. We'll belt it kind of all around the outside, and then we'll bring it up here from down below. So let's start with my numbers. Oh my god, it's so many refineries. 42 refineries. Who's ready to have some fun? Okay, so thank god we have our beautiful blueprint here for refineries. So I'm going to try and split this into a few separate groups, kind of like we did for that last factory. Because I need one line of, looks like 98.77 iron ingots per minute. So we're going to do two refineries for that. I need another line of 133.33. That's going to be another two refineries. And then I need a line, well, multiple lines, because I need 2,453.33 iron ingots going into another section of our build. Alright, so starting with our first four refineries here. I just kind of plunked them down, went from 2 in on the back and 2 in on the side. So I'm going to have these, and I color coded them as well, so I have 2 white ones, then 2 normal. So I'm actually going to split this in the back, so it's not actually connected. But I do want the front connected because it's all being fed by the same thing. But I want to set these, because these are currently my pure iron ingot refineries. I'm going to set these to still be pure iron ingot refineries. I don't know why I thought I was changing these. But they're just going to be sending them in different directions. That's why I just want to make sure they're color coded so I don't forget later. So that is technically the two groups I was talking about done. That'll be the 98.77 and then the 133.33. So let's figure out how to clock that onto 2 of these. Okay, mark them out for myself. So we got these two are 98.77. So you got one, it's just going to be at 65. And this one is going to be at 31.23. That in total will make 98.77. Sorry, that was bad math. 98.77 is 33.77 on this one and 65 on this one. My math skills were not good there. And then you got 133.33 over here, which means a slight overclock, which is 68.33 on this one and 65 on this one. So those are kind of done, ready to go. Those are the two little groups that we're going to be worrying about a little bit later on, because we still have many, many more refineries left to place. So I'm going to leave this little area in front of them open so that these can just be left open for the small amount of constructors that these are going to feed into. And then that way we can save all this room over here. The remaining whack load, it's 38 more refineries to place. And then lots, like probably a couple floors of constructors and everything. So I guess I can probably leave myself a little bit of room here. We'll grab our blueprint for our refineries again. So let's make sure I have, so what do I got here? 2, let's give myself a 3 wide gap. Okay, I was just doing some quick math because I was like, how do I split this up where I'm going to make almost 2,500 iron ingots and actually have this work properly? So I think the best bet of what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to build more refineries than I actually need. Like just barely. I'm going to build 4 groups of 10. So basically I'm going to do this twice and then I'll just add 2 on the very end. And I think that should work. Theoretically, we'll probably have to do some weird calculations going through the build, but I'd rather kind of keep this a little bit more simple for myself because it's a very weird number to move around, and obviously it's going to be more than one belt, so hopefully this all just kind of makes sense as we go, and I won't have anything mess up too badly. But I think, so from here, I'm just going to go ahead and plunk down the rest of the group of 10, and then we'll see how much room we got left going down here. Because I may need to double up on like which way they're going, so like have some going down here, and then I may have to add some in like a little bit over here. Let's see. Like I said, I gotta put down 40 of these, so. Alright, so there's my first group of 10 down, and basically an easy way of adding the 2 more on the very end is I just took my 4 blueprint, loaded it in, chopped off half of it, because I'm gonna have to do this a few times, and I didn't want to do it all manually, and made it 2 pure iron ingot refinery, because why not? Probably would have made more sense to actually turn it into a 1 and then just plunk 2 of them down. So that way if you ever need to add like 1 or 2, it's a little bit easier. So now we can go ahead and hook these up in a few minutes, but since those are now all down, it gives me a better idea of how much space we have to work with. And I want to give myself a little bit of extra room to make sure I have, you know, the room to be working around everything. So I'm going to set in the next 30. So I think what I'm going to do is we're going to do 10 more going down this way, a little gap in between here. And then we'll see how much room we have on that way, or left down here. And I might start sending them going down like this way. It's beautiful. Look at all those refineries. So we have that little group over there. That's going to be our little bit of iron ingots. And we have our 1, 2, 3, and 4 groups of 10 refineries that we're gonna have to do some serious math skills to figure it out. But I'll worry about that a little bit later. First, I want to make sure I got everything all hooked up, and then I need to figure out how to split the water between. It's going to be 826 water needs to feed basically every refinery you're looking at right now. So we're gonna have to figure out a way to hook these up properly to make sure the water is actually fed properly. So I think what I'll probably do is 2 of those pipes will go to feed, like one pipe will feed this line, another pipe will feed that line, and then I think I might just set up a couple extra water extractors to feed these 4 over here, just to make things a little bit easier. All right, you guys ready for some crazy math? So I need 2,453.33 between the 4 groups would be 613.3325. A little weird, but I should be able to run with it. So now you divide that, so each group needs to make that much. So you divide that by the 10 refineries you have in each line, so you get 61.33325. So I took that exact, I basically copy and pasted that equation, put it in here. So now it says 61.33, I actually get 61.333, 94.3588%. Now that what is it, 0.00025, pretty sure won't make a difference. I mean, I guess you'll find out down the line, but as far as I know, this should technically make this factory 100% efficient. Now, so that means we're looking at 18.872 water per minute. So that would be like 188 so we'll call like 189 water per minute for each group of 10. So that means, yeah, that maybe I should just do the 2-lane system. Yeah, I had to jump ahead because I got just so confused there. So I did a little changes. So now we have 2 pipes of 377.44 water. So one of those is going along the side here, hooks up to these 20 refineries here. And then what I did, so that's why I left them orange so you could see what I did. I built a loop system going all around because feeding 20 refineries off of a single pipe feed can be quite precarious. So I think we're going to go with my typical Chefry patented loop system where it sends it all around, like comes down from above and sends it around in a loop so it can all just fall down into the machines. Same thing over here. This is the other line of 377.44, goes into a full loop. These machines actually have a full loop going all the way around, connected all the way like that. So that should be fine. And then all I did was I added one more water pump down on the very end. And that is going into just a Mark 1 pump, or Mark 1 pipe. that is going to feed these 4 refineries down here on the very end. Is trying to figure out how to feed all 40 refineries plus these 4 evenly just made my brain hurt. So I did it a little more work, but a slightly easier way, where it's now split between these 20 refineries, those 20, and then these 4. So that should be good now. I just gotta set this the water pump for here. So I need to figure out how much water I need for these 4. Alright, just some more weird math done complete for you guys, so you don't have to watch me do it. This one water extractor, 71.42 cubic meters per minute, and that'll feed all those all those refineries over there. So that is officially my water done off the to-do list, which isn't even on the to-do list, but it's just part of the iron concrete refineries. So that's actually all the iron refineries done. Now we just have to do the handful over here for the concrete refineries. That's going to be hooked up to that one last bit of water over there in that back corner. So I think we should have just enough room to fit them in, probably about right here. Oh yeah, it's only 5 refineries for the wet concrete, so that'll literally fit in here, no problem. Oh my god, it's like I planned this out perfectly. So we got the 5 refineries right there, and look, I got 4 spaces right here on the end, which is good because I kind of probably want to do more brutalist architecture here, where it's like using the foundations as walls, which means we lose this one spot all the way around. But that still gives us plenty of room to move, or plenty of space to move around inside. So these are going to be set. How do we set? So one of these actually needs to be set to 50%. I'm actually going to set them all to be 72 per minute, and that'll be the right amount I need. So I needed 360 per minute. So 72 times 5. Let me double check that though. 72 times 5, 360, perfect. Okay, so now I'm just going to bring that one pipe of water from over there. We're going to bring it over here. I think I may actually just pass it along down below. Then we'll like put it through the ceiling, just so that I don't have to run a random singular pipe all the way along up here. And then I'll just do a little wrap around like this. So if I take this one off here, this was just my extender. And then I'll grab here. Alright, there we go. Pipe running all down beneath, because I didn't want to have just a random pipe up top. So we got our water flowing over here. Comes up through the floor hole. Goes into my flow around system. And this should keep any sort of like backsloshing issues from happening. So these are all set now, 72 per minute. So now I can actually go ahead and get all of our inputs hooked up, so we can actually bring in like the limestone and the iron to start feeding all these things. So the iron, we're going to bring down from over there. We're going to drop it down to the lower floor. And then we'll do the same, like the limestone's already down there, comes in through here. We'll just send that down underneath. Oh, I forgot to put the merger on here. That's okay. We'll do that in a few minutes. So that is technically all the refiners done. I'm just going to hook everything up together really quick. I'm not going to actually... Well, maybe we'll start setting these up so we can turn these on soon and make sure everything's actually working properly. I'll probably have to do like a little test as we're going here, because this is going to be such a big build. I want to make sure everything actually works as we're going forward. Hey, so fun fact, trying to balance that out took me so long. It's an entirely new day, like in real life. I'm just kidding. It is actually an entirely new day in real life. I just had to take a break because I ran out of time and I also got a little bit overwhelmed. However, I will hop over there and show you how I ended up load balancing it before we go ahead and carry on. However, since that did take me actually quite a bit of time, the space elevator parts are now complete. So we can now hop on up here, grab the last little bit of the modular engines out of this one? Yeah, this one. And we're going to throw those into the space elevator here. And then we're going to send that off to finish phase 3. And that's going to be really, really, what is this? Where'd this come from? Who did this? How dare you? Yeah, I'm going to be really glad to have this part done, because we do need those Mark 5 conveyor belts to make this a 100% efficient factory. We're moving it just a little bit over 480 parts per minute right now, so we just need to kind of speed that up a little bit. It shouldn't be too hard to unlock. I do have quite a bit of awesome sync points, so basically as long as I can get the Mark 5 belts unlocked, then I should be able to just buy a bunch of aluminum sheets, and that'll at least get me started on this factory. And then next episode, we can take on our first aluminum build. I've got it kind of planned out, ready to go. I'm thinking up here in this like red forest area, I think looked like a pretty good spot. Good amount of sheets, because, you know, we're going to be making a lot of Mark 5 conveyor belts. We're going to need definitely a lot of sheets. So anyway, let's get this loaded up and sent off, and now we can party. So we have that complete. We'll load it up, seal it up. Here we go. Unlock tier 7 and 8.
Welcome to the Project Assembly Pioneer Progress presentation. Congratulations, the Phase 3 project part shipment is finally ready for delivery. On delivery, Phase 3 will be completed and the main body will be constructed. You should know how this works by now. You'll get access to tiers 7 and 8 in the hub. In fact, perhaps you should just go look at the technologies there yourself. It's all laid out so that even a monkey could understand it, so you should have no issues. Speaking of which, I don't think you need a reminder about project parts. Instead, I will be providing some
even a monkey could do it.
Did you know the average pioneer succeeds at saving the day? Did you know the average pioneer knows how to optimize pipe throughput? Did you know the average pioneer stays late at work because they care about humanity? Anyway, I thought you might want to know more about your peers. Good luck in Phase 4.
Optimize pipes or don't use them at all. Just call me a monkey. Alright, we're sending this off. Let's get it. Hey. Tier 7 and 8, baby. Let's go. Now we're on to Phase 4. Wow. Those are far different numbers than they had before. There was like thousands needed before. That's a lot. I think that's a lot more accessible. I mean, not that we're anywhere near completing Phase 4. We're a long way out from that, but...
Phase 3 of Project Assembly completed. Fixit's predictions indicate pioneers should generally reach this point faster with above-average results, but we should all adjust our expectations according to the situation.
That was rude.
It is understandable. The pressure and complexity will only increase from here, so be sure to take on Phase 4 with efficiency and competence.
That was rude. Okay, so in order to get these logistics Mark 5, you can see we need some aluminum sheets. Now in order to get that, we have to unlock bauxite refinement. 100 computers, 100 heavy modular frames, 250 motors, and 500 rubber. I'm pretty sure I have all those things. Worst case scenario, I just buy 100 modular frames, and then we can buy the 200 alclad aluminum sheets. We have everything else we're going to need for this. And then we'll have Mark 5 conveyor belts. Now, in order to make Mark 5 conveyor belts, we need more. So I'm going to buy... Oh, I'm probably going to... I'll probably buy... Yeah, I can't talk today. I'll probably buy about 1,000. And that should definitely get me through at least building this factory. And then I don't think we'll actually probably use them too much for a little bit. Although I do need to, one, get the aluminum factory up and running. And then we also... need to overhaul that steel factory because I'm kind of running out of steel products, mainly my encased industrial beams. But if I'm going to start using Mark 5 conveyor belts instead, then I'm going to be using a lot less encased industrial beams. What else we got here? We got hazmat suit, control system development, which gets us the blender, which is going to be really helpful for getting us that really big turbo fuel power plant up and running. And then everything else is... Ooh, hover pack. We'll definitely get that one too. That should be pretty easy. So we're going to start with bauxite. I don't know how much of this I actually have. I need to go grab motors and rubber. Actually, just kidding. I can grab them from here. So we're going to grab 250 motors. What was that? 100 computers? 100 computers. And then rubber. I think I still need to grab that. There's 500 rubber. Okay, cool. The only thing I don't think I have is the heavy modular frames. Incorrect. I had like 200 of them. So let's go ahead and get this one sent off. I wish I could send off the two at the same time because it would save me having to wait for it to come back. However, I can't actually get the aluminum sheets without sending this off, so we gotta send this one off first.
Milestone reached. Bauxite is refined into aluminum products via a multi-step process. Considering your past achievements, you should have the minimum required skill to overcome these new production challenges. If it helps, many others have done this before, so if you fail, someone else will eventually succeed.
Sick, bro. Okay, so now that we've got that ready to go, we've got 9.5 minutes to kill. So let's head back on over to our Heavy Modular Frames factory. We'll go ahead and get started on our constructors layout. It honestly shouldn't take us that long to get that finished up because there's not a crazy amount. I think it's like a little under 40 constructors or something like that, or probably around 40. So let's go place those down really quick, and then we'll kind of venture on back here, and we'll get ourselves the aluminum or the Mark 5 Conveyor Belts Unlocked. But I'll just show you really quick in the my solid gold awesome shop that I have here. Oh, I didn't grab my points. Okay, so I got 45 points. So we're going to go over here into the parts section. You get aluminum sheets. So we get a stack of 200 for 2. So I'm going to grab 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's just call it 6 just in case. Got the points to spare. So that'll start us off with our aluminum needs. Is that we need to unlock the ones, so that'll take 200, and then we'll use 1,000 for actually overhaul. I really don't think I need 1,000 yet to overhaul this factory, but at least it'll get us set up and ready to go. So 8 minutes left. Let's head on over there, and then we can get this finished up. Actually, it's probably going to take me a few minutes. I'm over here at the factory now. It's probably going to take me a few minutes to kind of explain what I did to make it. So as I was saying before, I rage quit last time. Not rage quit, but overwhelm quit. I did hook up all the belts to run into, they're each running into their own awesome sinks for now, which is, you know, obviously using a lot of power. There's probably like, they use like what, 30 megawatts each? Yeah, so there's like almost 300 megawatts running right here. So I did run this actually all in a testing world as well, where I had the ability, I just turned off like build materials in this, so I just upgraded everything to like Mark 5 and let it run for, I think I let it run for like an hour, and it seemed like everything was working. So like you'll see the splitters and everything I did downstairs, everything I seem to have done seems to work. I'm still waiting for it to actually catch up in the real game because I don't have the Mark 5 conveyor belts yet, but we did, so all the water shenanigans that we did, all like this pipe section and everything like that, and the loop sections and everything, it all seems to work. So I think we're good to go ahead and move on into like the next part without any worries of this kind of falling apart. You know, you can see like there's a little bit of a kind of crazy pipe work here along the back, but it does all work. Like I said, I let it balance out, and then I let it run for like an hour or so to see if it was gonna like die out at all. And I even had to like unload some things because we were still like way overloaded on everything. So as far as I can tell, it works. So here is the balancing ish mess that I ended up going with. As far as I can tell, actually, right, I remember I do need to actually upgrade these because this actually doesn't send enough. So the 3 lines that are going to be bringing the 482 each, they come all the way down from above. So that's these 3 right here in the middle. So the middle one in the front, that goes directly into a splitter. And then I think this line was actually unnecessary. But basically what I did was I hit every output went into a splitter. And then each one got cycled in every direction. So as far as I know, well, I know now because I tested it. This actually worked. So, but yeah, I think you can actually take this belt off and it still works just fine. I don't think this was really actually even a necessary one. So essentially what happens is they come down, they split, and then, so same thing happens here and over here. They end up getting mixed together. And then, so you have a line of 600 something going this way. 600 something going this way. So these are the ones that need to get turned into the Mark 5 belts, along with some of the other stuff in here. And then everything else doesn't really matter all that much. And then you have this one over here, this line, this one right here. This is the smaller amount. This one is just going to that little group of 4 refineries I have down in the section over there. So they're getting, they'll be backed up pretty soon. And then, so like, I can take this one out, and then this line will get backed up anyway, and it'll start forcing more in the right and left directions. But as you can see, they're backed up right now because I don't have the Mark 5 belts. Anyway, hopefully that made some sort of sense if you were following along. If not, I'll kind of just sort of pause it here for a second, and you know, maybe you can kind of look at this and make sense of it yourself. But really, like I said, it's just everyone fed into a splitter, and then I just tried to evenly balance everyone going all around, so that we take the whole of everything coming in and share it across all the belts without actually backing up the inputs. Again, might be not make any sense, but hopefully it does. So, since we have a couple minutes until the aluminum stuff has kind of come back and we can send the next one off, I'm going to go ahead and set up the iron wire and the iron plates, since those are just the really small group of constructors I have to do. The iron wire, it looks like I need 8, and then the iron plates, I need 5. So I think I actually have an 8 constructor blueprint. I do. So it's 2 floors, but since it's already set up like that, I'll just use that. And then for the 5, do I have 5? I do have 5 constructor manifolds. There we go. So I'm going to pop these down, 98.77, so that's this one I marked. So that's the one going to the iron wire, so that's on this side. So I'll do the, I mean, they're just connected right now because they're going into the same awesome sink. But these ones, 133.33, I will put down right here. And I really want to get that hover pack so I can fly around easier. Makes building a lot faster. Alright, we got 5 constructors. These are going to be our iron plates. We'll come back and downclock them in just a moment. These are our 8 constructors. That floor in between, we'll just kind of set up some support poles. Actually, kind of depend on how the floor kind of goes in here after all anyway. But we'll leave that there for now. That is going to be our iron wire. There's going to have to be some downclocking there as well. But we're going to run back over. We're going to grab these aluminum... we're going to grab this milestone really quick so we can get the Mark 5 belts. That way we can come back through here and we can actually overhaul all these things, because these back lines, I think... I forget how many this actually puts out. There's a very loud noise coming from above me. These put out... So there's... this also all has to be turned into Mark 5 conveyor belts. So yeah, good thing I bought a whole bunch of aluminum sheets. See, this is why it never hurts to, you know, save some awesome sync points to be able to unlock stuff really quickly. So we're going to grab some of these things from our storage here. I need 600. Oh my god. Okay, so I'll take all those. I need 400 of those. So I'll grab basically all that I have. Pop that in there. Pop that in there. I need literally 42 more. How fast will that come to me? Pretty fast, turns out. Alright. There we go. Now we can send this off. Logistics Mark 5. Let's go.
Milestone
Alright, back to work.
reached. Fixit dedicated this milestone to the conveyor belt and lift Mark 5. They may be implying that your factory could be further optimized. While they are correct, I believe they are setting unreasonable expectations. Having all of humanity very definitely relying on your work is a lot of pressure. It's a good thing I'm here.
It's always a good thing you're here, Ada. Alright, heading back to the factory. So, let's talk about who has to be turned into Mark 5 conveyor belts. Basically, everybody. So all the inputs up here, because it's 420, or what is it, 482. So we gotta, there we go. I just don't want to run down there if I don't have to. Make sure all these are upgraded. Those guys are currently in the way. I'm gonna have to go down there anyway, it's okay. Get all these top ones upgraded, and then we'll also have to upgrade all the lifts. Basically, everything that goes across here and then down has to be Mark 5. Okay, so we're back down here in my kind of messy... I mean, it's actually not that bad, to be honest, for what I try to do. Actually kind of clean, just takes up a lot of space. Like it's stacked a little bit more vertically. So, I did turn all these into Mark 5. Now I'm going to have to turn... these belts right here, basically that go into all the splitters, are going to have to be Mark 5s. So that one, and that one, because that's technically still part of this system. Once they hit the Mark 5s, or like once they hit the splitters, it's kind of fine to leave them as Mark 4s until you go to, where are they? This one right here, gonna be Mark 5 conveyor belt here. They Mark 5 conveyor lift, and then you want to keep doing that all the way down because this is one of the main lines that needs 600 or 6. It's not exactly 600, but it's 600 something. And then back here once more, this is the other big main lines. This is also now a Mark 5 conveyor lift, and then all these belts leading over here, and then till you hit. I actually ended up splitting this one down below. So it's just a Mark 5 belt down here, and then a Mark 5 lift here, and then these can all remain their Mark 4 lift and everything. So we're going to keep upgrading this part. And then I got to go upstairs and make a couple more things Mark 5, and then we're pretty much done. Okay, my bad. I actually had to buy some more aluminum sheets because I ran out. Because I forgot. I actually needed to make the inputs for the concrete, since that was 540. That all had to be turned into Mark 5. And then also on the back here, it's basically coming out of each one. So that had a Mark 5 belt right here. But starting from, I think it's the end 3 is where you need to start to, because they're all Mark 4 belts right now. I think that's where you need to start the Mark 5. You don't have to do them as Mark 5 all the way back. I'm going to monitor it. I may have to do one more in the line. May have to go like another, like a third one back to do it, but shouldn't be too big of an issue. But everything is definitely running now. So that means I can finally go back over here to finish what I was working on over here. So we've got our constructors all ready to go for our iron wire all set right here. So I'm going to just plug this in, see how much I get from the constructor. Okay, so I'm currently getting 180. I need 180 minus 177.78. So I need to take off 2.22. So what's 22.5 minus 2.22? Answer to that is I downclock one of them to 20.28 per minute, and then everyone else can be 100%. And then that will be, that's the first one in the line too, so that'll be a little bit easier for it backing everything up. Okay, and then the iron plates, I need 88.89. And then I'm assuming I get, what is it, 100 from here? So we'll go 100 minus 88.89. That's minus 11.11. So I need 20 minus... There we go. So one's going to do 8.89. That's going to be you right here. I just realized that was not as hard as it needed to be, because it's like 20, they sort of an 80, and then it's like, okay, now you just make one that is 8.89. It would have been a whole lot easier. But anyway, now that we've got those done, I'm going to, I'll let those just kind of keep running into there for now until we hook the rest of this up. And then I'll probably start moving the awesome sinks down the line to make sure everything's still running properly. But for now, that is technically iron wire and iron plates off our to-do list. Now we just got to do the iron pipes, which is where the 2,453 ingots still have to go. It's 25 constructors. So I think if I do it in, what is that? I kind of want to do it in 4 groups, since I have 1, 2, 3, 4. And then maybe just do like 26 constructors. Okay, so just doing my math quickly, I think I'm going to do, so there's 4 lines, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4. If I did 6 constructors per line, that gives me 24 constructors, and I need 24.54. So I think what I'll do, instead of making 28 constructor, I think what I'll either do is I'm either going to overclock 1, or I'm going to add like 1 more constructor into the group of like the rest of them. So that looks like 4 groups of 6. Shouldn't be too hard. We don't really have a 6 constructor blueprint. We have an 8. God, my math skills are so bad. I have a 3 constructor blueprint, and I can just bat down 2 of those, and that gives me my 6. So everyone's going to get, or everyone's going to feed 6. I think the way I'll set this up is I'll kind of set it up maybe right here. So I'll do similar to that other factory I did, where I'll probably end up stacking them a little bit on top of each other. I mean, we do have a lot of room to work with, so we may end up actually just working with the room we got. So I need to do 4 groups of 6 of these. There we go. 4 groups of 6. Hanging it up here on top of the refineries. I need to make myself some like upper working floors and everything. So with 4 groups of 6, that means every single one of these, like the group of 10 refineries, they're going to feed each into a line of here. So probably this one and this one are going to feed these back 2, and then those ones over here can feed these front 2. And then I think I'll try and, like I was doing before, I'm going to keep everything mostly up here as best I can. Just put it up a little bit, because I like to keep things on the same floor. It makes the factory feel a lot more alive. So it looks like these are starting to balance out as I've upgraded the belt section on them now. I'm seeing basically all green lights across the factory, so I'm feeling pretty good about this. As I say that, literally a yellow light flashes, but that's okay. I think all we're missing here is the fact that we can't put this out fast enough. Okay, so I remember it was just the 2 in the end were Mark 5. I ended up making the 3rd one, and I think that seems to have balanced everything back out. So it definitely had to, I thought with my math, it was, you could get 8 before you had to turn it to Mark 5, but maybe it was like just under, and so maybe that's why it was backing up a little bit. So I'm just trying to conserve aluminum right now. Obviously we can boost this up in the future, but for now, these back 3 and then the end one need to be Mark 5. And everything else here is already set up, ready to go. We just need to actually set these to do the iron pipes. And I'm going to be mixing these all together, but I need a total of 613.33 pipes. Now, since I do have Mark 5 conveyor belts now, I'm just going to keep it easy on myself, and I'll just turn this all into just a giant long manifold line. Sorry, my brain stopped working there. So I'll turn it into a manifold line, and then it's going to split off to do 3 things. It's going to make the steeled frames, it's going to make the encased industrial beams, and then it's also going to be making some the final part where it's the heavy encased frames. So basically they're all getting sent to assemblers and manufacturers from here. Okay, so I went ahead and I just put all the iron pipe recipes on here, and then this one right here, you can really just choose whatever one you want. I overclocked to 38.33, which required 2 power shards, and then everyone else just gets to stay at their normal 25 per minute just to make it nice and easy. So now I'm going, like I said, I'm going to take all of these, I'm going to merge them all into one big long line, and then we'll put 3 splitters on that line, and it'll get sent off to the other spots we need it to go. But basically this is an easy part to finish because this will take it off the to-do list. I'll just take it off right now, and we can just go ahead and connect everything up. So like I said, each one of these groups of 10 assemblers is going to feed into one line of these constructors here. So we're going to go ahead and link those up, and then I'm going to move the awesome sinks off the end of the, I'll turn all these awesome sinks into one to feed all the iron pipe coming out of here. Alright, cool. I've got everything all hooked up now. The only problem I ran into was I forgot I put my pipe all around here, and I had to go down, across, back up again, just like keep everything up above like I like it. Because now it's going to be a very full looking factory. The only thing I forgot to mention too is the first part in the, actually 2 parts I forgot to mention. In the constructor blueprint, the 3-part one I was doing, you have to turn this first one into a Mark 5. Everyone else can be Mark 4, it's fine. And everyone knows the input set to Mark 1 conveyor belt. They actually have to be changed into Mark 2 or literally anything other than Mark 1 because they need 100 pipes per minute, and that wasn't going to work. So now those are all hooked up. I got everyone powered up. Just kind of waiting everyone to balance out here. And the pipes are feeding along this back line here down into one awesome sink instead of I was feeding like 4 of them before. So now I can take away this one as well. That should cut down on a little bit of my power usage, at least on in terms of awesome sink usage. So now I'm going to make sure these are all balancing themselves out. You should all, because I didn't test it this far. Basically, in my testing world, I only took the time to test out the crazy numbers of the refineries. Everything else from here is actually pretty simple. It's just, quite a few things put together. So those pipes are all going into there. That's going to be fine. I need to go ahead and turn this part on over here. We're going to connect all this up, and then we're going to send these two sets probably into an awesome sink as well, just one awesome sink. Actually, I think I'll just leave this for now. We'll set this up towards the very end because I don't actually really need to turn these on just yet. But everything, as far as I know, should be set up ready to go here. You basically just have to run this line into... which one? Yeah, these two go into here. Those two go into there. That's pretty much it. Alright, I kicked it on anyway. I figured, hey, everything else is fired up and running. Why not get this one up and running? So, that is now feeding in through there. Everyone should be good to go. If I see any problems as we move on, I'll be sure to pop back over and take care of it. But I think now we can actually move on to the assembler portion of the build, which means I'm going to have to put a second floor on here because this front section is not enough room for all the assemblers we need. Okay, floor number 2 put on. I went up, I took the big concrete pillars, put down 4, and then I got the 1 meter floor sitting on top of that. And then it's kind of evenly spaced all the way along. I'm going to have to add in some more supports so it doesn't look just like a floating pillar or a floating platform here in a little bit, but that's okay. We can work on the decorations a little bit later. For now, we've got some reinforced iron plates, some modular frames, and some encased industrial pipes to take care of. This should be enough area, I think. If I need to, I can always add a little bit more. And then for the encased industrial pipes, there's always a chance I always set them up down there because we got the concrete right there, and then I can just kind of steal some of the steel pipes to be sent over here. So worst case scenario, I'll set those up because I think I need 13 of those. I always set those up down below. And up here, we can do some steeled frames. So for the steeled frame, which is the alternate recipe for the modular frames, we're going to get 40 per minute out of that one. So I need 14 assemblers. So I have assembler's blueprint right here. I have 2. So I'm going to be putting down 7 of these in a row. Hopefully these have enough space to fit. I needed to fit 14 assemblers across the top, and I could fit exactly 14 assemblers across the top. Also, I think I am going to make the encased industrial beam up here, because that way I have the space down there for these 6 manufacturers that I'm going to need. And that way I don't have to add a 3rd floor on top of all this, because I can probably fit 3 manufacturers there. I can probably fit 3 manufacturers here, and then that'll be my 6 manufacturers in total. So we can go ahead and get these ones all hooked up. So these are setting to steeled frame, and like I said, a total of 40 per minute. And if you set this to the way it is normally, which would be 3, I've got 14 times 3, that's 42. That's too many. So we're going to be taking it off of the first one here. Steeled frame, I'm going to take 2 off of here. That's not 2, that is. Make 1 per minute, and then everyone else can just be normal. Okay, since I did 14 on this side, I need 12.5 for my encased industrial pipe. I'm actually just going to also do 14, even though that's, you know, more than 1.5 more I actually need. But it'll just make it nice and even and clean looking up here so that you basically just got these going down on both sides. And then that will hook up. I actually changed everything to Mark 1 conveyor belts because it's only 40 coming out of here. And then for the encased industrial beams, you can do the same thing because it's only 50 coming out of there. So let's get these other 14 down. We'll get them hooked up, and then we'll figure out how we're actually going to clock these. Okay, now it's perfect down the middle because I just shifted it over a little bit. I noticed these were off by a bit. So since I only need 50 out of these, and each one of these is going to make me 4. So we got 4 times 14 is 56. So we needed to take off 6. So let's take off 3 here. Actually, wait, this is the one on the end of the line. Let's go to the front of the line, and we'll take 3 off of the front 2. Alright, those are all set up now, ready to go. So I took the first 2 in the encased pipes line, or encased beam line. I took the 2 or 3 off of each. So they're only putting out 1, which is kind of funny. So now we can go ahead and get these assembly lines actually hooked up. So one of the inputs is going to go right here, and then the other input is going to go on the other side. So this one needs pipes and something. This was pipes and reinforced iron plates. Okay, so that's pretty easy. Reinforced iron plates. Did I do those yet? Oh my god, I forgot to do the stitched iron plate. My bad. So that's actually what this whole section basically is making right here. So you get your iron plates and your copper wire. This whole section right here is actually going to be feeding into a stitched iron plate assembler line, which I need 5 assemblers for. So I wonder if I can kind of just fit those in right here. There we go. 5 assemblers did fit in right here actually pretty nicely. So these are all going to be set doing stitched iron plate. I need 26.67 per minute. So one of these is going to get downclocked, I think, just a little bit. That's going to be the first one in the line. Probably this one down here, right? So we're going to come to this one. Stitched iron plate. So one of our assemblers has to be downclocked to do 4.17 per minute. So we're going to take this one. We're going to go 4.17. Downclocked. Done. And then everything else can just be normal. Okay, so I just went ahead and got, well, the night passed me by. Because I forgot I have night mod on. I was like, oh, it's dark. Let me just do some stuff while I wait. Instead of just skipping ahead. I did go ahead and hook up the iron plates and the wire into the assemblers here, making our reinforced iron plates, and those are going to start getting sent up above. It's going to be a long time before that all gets backed up anyway, so I figured I might as well kind of just kick this one on, get it started, because it's got a lot of machines to get backed up on. So the other part we need from here is the pipes, and so that is the one input coming from there. And then the other one, this is going to be an output. This is going to go to the manufacturers. But this is going to be one of the pipes, and then another pipe is going to go down on the other side because I've got the manufacturers kind of facing opposite directions. So we'll have a pipe going over here, a pipe going over there, and then we'll also have another pipe going to these 6 manufacturers here. So the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to get rid of this awesome sink, and I'm going to turn it into a splitter, and then I'll run 3 lines. One can go over there, one will kind of go, probably send it up, walk it along the ceiling there, and run it back over to where it needs to go over there. Because it has to go up above anyway. And then the other pipe I'll just kind of keep ready to be put in here. So we're gonna have to put in our manufacturers along here. So let's do the pipes first. Let's go ahead and take this out. They'll get backed up a little bit, but that's okay. So I'm gonna grab a splitter. I'm gonna triple stack it so that it goes up to a line in here, because I like being able to run around with the floor underneath me here. Gives me a lot of space to work with. So we got a Mark 5 pipe, or Mark 5 conveyor belt coming into there. And then, so one of these has to go over here. So we'll grab a Mark 4. How many pipes are we moving here? So we got 133, 180, and 300. So the most I'm going to need... Oops. Most I'll need is a Mark 4 conveyor belt. And that's going to go to... that goes to the encased industrial pipe. Okay, so that one has to go, the 300, that'll go over there. So these ones can be just Mark 3 conveyor belts. Let's grab this one. This one will go to this section right here. Okay, so Mark 1 or Mark 3 conveyor belt, that's going to lead those pipes over there. It's basically going to take all the pipes at the moment. And then I'm going to put a lift in. So I'm going to grab you. This is going to be taking 300, so this is where I'm going to have to go to Mark 4. We're going to go up to the ceiling like this. I'm going to send it in because there's going to be more poles for support put in here eventually. And then I'm going to run that from this section over to... There's a conveyor lift right... Or there will be a conveyor lift right off the corner here. And that's going to feed into this section right here, because this is going to need a lot more pipes. There you go. It's easy enough. A little wrap around underneath section there. I'll take those pipes up there. And then, so now, what was this other piece that goes in here? This is concrete, right? So I think what I'm actually going to do is I will turn this splitter right here. So the input's actually going to come down the side. And grab this, put this back on. Then how much concrete am I bringing over here? 250, so we can use a Mark 3 lift here. Okay, so I kept the I'm going to keep this concrete line up about as high as the steel pipes one is. So basically I just have to bring that from over there, because I think that's about the same height I'm going to be going with here. I'm going to bring this concrete. Take this off here, take this off here. Guess we actually finally have to put in the rest of this merger line, huh? I'm going to send it towards me. Okay, I think that's pretty much it. We got our concrete line going over here. It feeds into a splitter because some of that concrete needs to go directly to the manufacturers at the end. But for now, it's all just going up to this top level. So we've got the pipes coming in from down below. Running down that section. Then you got your concrete coming from here. Kind of just ran it over along this side section here. And then it's all comes together in the end. So this will be by modular frames coming out of here. Encased industrial beams come out of that side down there. So we got to take this, these, concrete, and the pipes. And that's going to make our heavy encased frame. And that's going to bring us to a close on this episode. Not actually ending it right now. You know what I mean. So let's get that taken off the to-do list. And then let's get into our 6 manufacturers. So I think I have a blueprint where it's a made in 2. It is indeed. So I have a 2 manufacturers with 4 inputs. And then I have a 2 manufacturers with 3 inputs. Now this is going to take 4 inputs because we need the modular frames, the steel pipes, the encased industrial beams, and the concrete. So we're going to grab this one right here. And we're going to put in one of these. And then we'll put in the extra manufacturer. We're going to need 3 basically on each side. So I'm going to put 1 on this side of the pillar tower. And then I'll put 1 on the other side. There we go. 3 on this side. 3 on that side. Obviously, I don't want to run a belt all the way across here and just lose all this floor space. So I think this is where I'm actually going to use the logistics floor I built myself down below. And I'll just kind of belt it like down from here. I'll do it right now, actually. So grab a little floor hole, pop that in right there, grab a lift from in behind there, just kind of barely fit. Actually, since it just barely fits, I'll give myself a little bit more room. There we go. So now we can grab a lift. Oops, didn't mean to do that. No, I don't want it. I should move it again a little bit. Because it will only connect to that top one for some reason. So we'll go like this. Just kind of have to do the same for all of them. There we go. I'm doing 4 lifts, and I'll send this all down below, and I'll just do the same on this side, bringing them back up, so that I don't have to send belts all the way across here and block this whole section. So we'll go 1 here, 2, 3, and 4. So we'll grab our lifts. There we go. A little silly, but I think it'll be worth it since I kind of want to be able to walk through a lot of this factory and double check in on things. So that brings us to the clocking section. So where I want 15 heavy modular frames per minute. And if you pick the heavy encased frame, it gives you, well, it gives you 2.813 per minute. So let's go ahead and figure out how many we need to adjust here to make sure we only get 15 per minute. So it looks like right now we're making 16.878. So that means I just have to take off 1.878 should be the correct number to be taking off of here. So we'll go, would it be 2.813 minus 1.878? So it looks like we're going to downclock one of the manufacturers to do 0.935. I'm going to copy that thing and then go to the very first one in our line, and that's where I'm going to set it. Then everyone else can just be normal. What a weird number. There we go. 0.94 or 0.935 per minute according to this, but it's 0.94. So that should technically now be balanced out, give me exactly 15 per minute. There we go. So those are all hooked up now. I didn't go down it. I haven't done the ones down below yet. We'll worry about that in a few minutes. Now begins the fun part, where we actually need to bring over all the parts that we're making, a total across the factory, and we're going to hook up to the lines here. So we've got a pipes one right here. We're going to grab this. We're going to bring that over here. Let's figure out, does it line up with any of these? Okay, I need to line up this part with that. There we go. Okay, so it lines up with that section right there. Okay, that's good. And so now I'm going to bring this one over as well. This is the, oh, I know what these are. These are the encased beams. Let me see if I can get this to be a little stubby boy. There we go. Got the little stubber on there. It was not easy. I had to use these conveyor poles right here. I'm going to put those in just to give myself some more structural support going down this way. Okay, so now we're feeding steel pipes, we're feeding encased industrial beams. Now the only thing left is concrete and modular frames. The modular frames are going to come from the other side. That's going to be a bit of a mess, but I'll figure that. I think I'll just run that one also along the ceiling there. And then the concrete comes from right here. That I can just kind of run along the side here. And I think what I'll do is I'll just turn. Alright, sorry to jump ahead on you guys, but I just had to make sure it was all set up properly. So what I ended up doing, and just make it a little bit easier and cleaner, was I sent the modular frames down below, as well as the concrete. So that concrete is now feeding into a lift right there. It gets fed into this line right here. And then I hooked up the parts down below, so they should be flowing in between the manufacturers now properly. Looks like it. The only thing you won't see yet is the modular frames, because I kind of have to wait for them to actually get here first. But they are finally traveling, at least. So those are all of our inputs hooked up. The only things I have left to do now is add in the power and then the mergers on the back here. And that will be all of our heavy modular frames done. So my game plan essentially with this factory is at 15 per minute. I'm going to load up a bunch of like storage bins, storage containers. And that should basically cover us for all and most of all of our crafting. And then the other part of this, and then I think in the future I may dumb it down to only 5 per minute will be used for crafting, and then 10 per minute will probably get sent elsewhere to build to be part of another factory, like of a more advanced part, because this way I don't have to build heavy modular frames hopefully more than once. This should, I think, if I remember correctly, be enough to basically carry us through most of the recipes through the end game. And this turned out to be a pretty cool factory, actually. It's very alive looking. The only thing I'll have to check is, as you can see, there's quite a few yellow lights going. There's probably some things that need to be changed. It looks like we have quite a backup of pipes at the moment. That's probably because we're not feeding these manufacturers. So let's get these hooked up to power, and then we'll see everything running. Okay, so got my little storage set up down below here. I've powered everything on. I'm not seeing any actually heavy mod. We should see heavy modular frames in a minute. But basically what I did was I sent them down below. Like I said, I'm filling up 3 storage containers that should definitely carry us for all our crafting needs, but just in case, you know, I'll still have like 5 per minute crafting at some point, or really however many left we need. And then into here, this is the smart splitter. This is going up into an awesome sink upstairs. Then this right here, I don't have the parts on me for making the dimensional depot, but this is where I'm going to make the dimensional depot, and that way I don't have to keep coming back to get these all the time. I mean, these are filled up, but it should fill up my dimensional depot all the time, and then whatever is like left over will get sent up here. That way these will always remain full, and will also still be feeding our dimensional depot. Hey, here they come. Look at that. Got some heavy modular frames already. So we can technically take that off the to-do list. I'm not going to worry about any decorations today, because, I mean, I'm probably at like almost probably over an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours for my episode, so, hopefully this turned out to be a decent one. Definitely a big one. You know, probably a little bit more than I probably should have taken on for the moment. But it's a pretty cool looking factory. I really like the layout of it. And, you know, being able to see everything move around still on like most of the floors. I think I'm going to carry with that theme going forward, because I really like this, like, you know, alive feeling of the factory, being able to see everything move around. We'll use logistics floor when we have to. I mean, it was good to have this for moving stuff from all the other machines to the other side of the factory for like some of these manufacturers. And then it was also good to have for like transferring stuff down below when I wanted to, you know, keep things aesthetically pleasing up top. But I think that is going to bring us to the end of today's episode. It may have been a long one, a lot of work, but I appreciate you guys being here. If you have any feedback for future episodes, make sure you let me know down below. If you want to help support the channel, you can check out the Patreon or become a YouTube channel member here. I'm sure I'll have, it's just to support the channel right now, but I'm sure I'll have some more perks for you guys coming out in the future. Any questions about the build, if you're following along, feel free to join the Discord. Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next one.